Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Norman Hakim and I'm taking Diploma in Aviation Safety Management and I'm holding matric number D11111058. Me and my group today are going to do a group activity for subject search and rescue and emergency response planning. This group activity needs us to do a case study, which the subject of the case study that we choose is Japan Airlines Flight 123. Okay, to start with our group activity, with our case study, I'm going to give an introduction to our subject, which is search and rescue and emergency response planning, and also a little bit about our case study. Okay, to start off with our group activity, I'm going to start with the definition of search and rescue. Search is an operation using available personnel, all available personnel and facilities to locate a person in distress. To locate, meaning to locate a person which have an emergency, which is in need to be found by others. Okay, and for rescue, rescue is an operation to retrieve person in distress, and also to provide for their initial medical needs and also other needs, and deliver them to a place of safety. Okay, that's all for search and rescue definitions. I will continue with the fundamental skills for SAR training. Fundamental skills of SAR training is search, rescue, and survival or support. Search training is a continuous education in searching only. This education specializes in land search, water search, and air search. It's application of search theory such as search planning and search talks technically. Okay, and by rescue, it is a diverse specialty that differs in terrains and equipment. This training, rescue, is special in environments which they are required to special in. This specialty include mountain, wilderness, ice, water, and urban rescue, and many more. Okay, and for rescue, their equipment differs greatly amongst rescue types and also can be very, very, very complex. Okay, to continue with our third fundamental skills, which is survival or support. These studies include many skills that include in search and rescue, but also the skills that may be required independently by both skills such as search and rescue. These skills include wilderness survival, navigations, signaling, improvisations, fitness, and communications. Okay, that's all for our the introductions of our subjects. I'm going to continue with a little bit of our case study, which is Japan Airlines Flight 123. Japan Airlines Flight 123 is the largest single aircraft accident in history that has occurred. By this accident, by the aircraft of Boeing 747, which happened in Mount Takamagahara in central Japan. This event of accident occurred on August 12, 1985. In this accident, there are 524 persons on board, with 509 passengers and 15 crews. Okay. In this accident, there are a total of 520 fatalities, and there are 4 injuries, which make that there are 4 survivors. That's all from me. Let us continue with my friends to further the case studies. I'm sorry for my grammar and for my mistakes. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Zaida binti Shamsuddin. My matric number is DASM 1907048. So, firstly, I will talk about my part, which is the causes of the accident. Okay, basically, the aircraft was involved in tail strike incident at Osaka International Airport 7 years early as Japan Airline 115, which damaged the aircraft after pressure bulkhead. However, the Boeing technicians repairing had used two splice plates parallel to the stress crack. After that, cutting the plate in this manner negated the effectiveness of one of the rows of rivets, reducing the part's resistance to fatigue, cracking to about 70% of that for a correct repair. Consequently, after repeated pressurization cycles during normal flight, the bulkhead gradually started to crack near one of the two rows of rivets holding it together. When it finally failed, the resulting rapid decompression ruptured the lines of all four hydraulic systems and ejected the vertical stabilizer. With many of the aircraft flight control disabled, the aircraft became uncontrollable. That's all from me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Azwani Afrida binti Abdul Karim and I'm holding matric card number DASM 1911056. So for my part is consequence as this accident involved a jumbo jet that used all over the world. Much concern was raised just after the tragedy as to whether or not the accident cause was common to the fleet. The biggest was long talked about as a tragedy because so many people were killed. JAL is the biggest airline in Japan. They lost much of its credibility and it took a long time for them to regain the customer trust in the airline and restore the number of air travelers in Japan.
Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. My name is Ahmad Daniel Elish Ahmed. I'm holding matric card number DASM 1907050. My part is telling about rescue of Japan Airlines Flight 1 to 3. This incident happened on 12 August 1985 rescue. Said 520 people died, but 4 passengers survived in what was the worst single plane's accident in aviation history. Rescue team found crack in a bulkhead separating the rear of the passengers cabin from the unpressured tail section. The tail burst it like a balloon, and US team investigators believe reports of a bulkhead failure are premature. Japanese investigator listened to a cockpit voice recorder last 30 minutes of the flight and continue analyze the recorder shows engine and control reading. The last sound tapes ended with a impact of accident, and Mr. Kawaguchi, one of a passenger with his family, he keep pray to God to save his family from an accident. Nearly 4,000 soldiers, include firefighters, more bodies from the wreckage for airlifting to Fujioka. Means 4,000 soldiers and fighters are involved to investigate the dead body because the airplane crash. So 4,000 soldiers and firefighter already heard a briefing and wear their equipment, PPE or his glove, gas tank and oxygen tank, and wear a safety boot to involve the investigate place to check one by one passengers involved in a accident. By Sunday night, 481 sets of remains recovered and 333 bodies had been identified, officials said. So That's it for me.
Hi, my name is Aya Natasha binti Edi Saifulizam. I hold the matric card number D1911055. So the next is knowledge comment. Knowledge comment is conducted at a provide interval indispensable to especially after the largest scale repair or design has been changed to carry out to ensure that the designer has been satisfied. Number 2 is for fundamental training and education in area which is the material or machine should be provided in detail even for the engineer at the site. Lastly, the people who have responsible to check the site carefully to ensure that those repairs were conducted as desired to avoid any awareness or accident.
So, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Azim. I'm of the matric card D1911054. So, I will be explaining about the aircraft which is name is Japan's Airlines Flight 123. So, the aircraft crash point at elevation of 1,565 meters, which means is 5,135 feet. This is in sector of 76 State Forest 3577 Azawatani Kwaza Nahara. So, there is the place where the accident. So, the east wage ride is about 2.5 kilometer, which means is 8,200 feet northwest of Mount Mikuni. So, as the magazine of the Time magazine say that the area where the aircraft crashed is referred to as the of Gunma Prefecture, which means the elapsed time from the bulkhead failure to the crash was 32 minutes. So, the Japanese public confidence in Japan's airline took a dramatic downturn in the wake of the disaster, with passenger number on domestic road dropping by 1/3, which means rumor precede that Boeing had admitted fault to cover up shortcoming in the airline. So, the terribly protecting the reputation of major customer. In the month after the crash, domestic traffic decreased by as much as 25% in 1986 for the first time in a decade. Fewer passengers board Japanese airline overseas flight during the New Year period. The previous year, some of them considered switching to all Nippon Airways as a safer alternative. So, what Japanese airline do is pay 780 million to the victim relatives in the form of condolence money without admitting liability. Japanese airline President Yasumata Tagagi resigned in the aftermath of the incident. So, in cooperation with standard procedure, Japan Airlines retired to the flight number 123 for their Haneda Itami routes. So, it changed to flight 121, flight 127 on September 1, 1985, while Boeing 747 was still used on the same route, operating with the new flight. So, the 747 continued serving Japanese airline until their retirement on March 2, 2011. So, that is for Japanese airline flight after the crash. So,
In the world, there will always be balance between evil and good, same like this case. It could have been them only the engineer not following the procedure. The rest of the country were. Is only one thing that we can do to prevent any accident dangerous, which is we need to learn from our mistake and don't repeat it again. We can never stop any incident, which is why prevention is more good than enough to keep the industry going until today. So I think that's all for me and my team. Thank you for listening to Medium Haja.